Okay, let's get to the next batch of questions here then. We're going to be following the clown this time, Donald Keys, as he makes his way around the station. Should be hilarious. Let's see, the last question I asked was what my first PC gaming experience was. The next one is from Rob Zor. When did you get your dogs, / what are they like? Well, I got my dog a few years ago from family. She's a young pup still, basically in doggy years. And she's a feisty, brave warrior who's not afraid of anything. Doesn't matter how big the dog is or how scary the night is, she'll go bark at it and chase anything off into the darkness until the coyote or the owl swoops down and eats her. She's probably weighs less than a large pizza from Pizza Hut. If I had to go by, known weights off the top of my head, she's just a feisty little dog. Good dog, wouldn't trade her for anything. I've had a couple dogs before her, and I'm sure I'll have a couple dogs after her too. But she's a great dog. So let's see, Box McCloud, you're the next question. Let's see. Did you ever have any sort of reason or goal behind your videos, or did you start doing them just to say, fuck it, let's narrate some gameplay? The original reason I got into Let's Playing, at first it was to kind of show the worlds through my eyes. The very first videos I uploaded were on an alternate account from this Plump Helmet one. I didn't know exactly how I wanted to convey what I did in games to the world. I'd seen a few Kakoskia videos, but still wasn't really into Let's Playing whenever I recorded my first ones. So yeah, the very first videos that aren't even on this channel were, I want to show people a beautiful game, so I recorded a bunch of videos for the game Love, and uploaded them. Then, after watching Kakoskia for a little bit, I still didn't really want to get into Let's Playing, and then I saw Jeff doing his Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode, and that's whenever I really wanted to get into Let's Playing. I think I mentioned earlier to one of the questions, Jeff was taking some people around on adventures. He was killing them in horrible ways. It was an awesome experience in my opinion, and that's whenever I said, you know what, I really want to get into that. I want to take people on adventures, I want to take them on journeys, even if it's not always taking them through Dwarf Fortress or giving them a chance to be a hero against a dragon or something, even if it's, say, switching to something like Stalker or Fallout. That is a different way to narrate, and it's something fun. It's a way to challenge myself to improv, a way to challenge myself to tell stories. I continually want to one-up myself. I want every video to be better than the last one. I want every line of dialogue I speak or make up to be better than what I've said before. It's completely unrealistic and impossible, but it's something worth striving for. I think that's why I do it now, to continually challenge myself, to entertain you guys. Like I said, for some reason you guys find this exciting. You enjoy wasting your time watching this stuff, and that's why I do it. I have fun doing it. I challenge myself. Self-improvement. It's good for everyone, I guess. It's free fun entertainment for everybody. That's why I do it. Let's see. This one's from Zartine. Will you ever show your face? Nope. Answered that before. A couple questions asking to show my face. I'm probably never going to show my face. I've shown it on other websites. I've shown it on forums. I've shown it under other accounts. But as for this account, honestly, I just don't think I'll ever upload my face. This account isn't really about me. It's about storytelling. It's about having fun with video games. It's about doing something with part of a community. And my face has really nothing to do with it. My name, I'm not going to give my name out anytime soon, even though you can find pictures of me. You can find my name out if you know where to look. Everything is tied together beautifully if you know what you're looking for. It's out there. Just go exploring. See if you can find it. From Super Ryan, will you ever Let's Play Portal or Portal 2? No. Early, whenever I started Let's Playing, one of my very first update video, I had thought about playing Portal. I was having fun doing a little bit of banter with GLaDOS, going back and forth with her. I mean, even though she wasn't going back and forth with me at all, she was just doing her lines. I thought that I was having fun with her banter. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll ever upload anything like that. It didn't turn out to be fun for me ultimately. I don't think I'll ever Let's Play Portal or Portal 2. They're good games. I assume the second one is. I haven't played it. I had fun with the first one, but I won't ever be Let's Playing them. I've been wondering if you would ever return to the Fallout mod for Dwarf Fortress from Pelotap. Yes, I will be doing the Wasteland mod next, probably, after I'm done with Shove Copper and the Genesis mod here. It'll be some point in the future, who knows, maybe October or November. I don't know how much longer Shove Copper is going to last. I'm going to finish it off at some point, simply so I can move on to another game. But I want it to go out in a proper blaze of glory, and then we'll get back to fortresses for a while that fail. Shove Copper is the fortress designed not to fail. I haven't save scummed on it at all, but I did design it step by step so that we wouldn't be overran. There were a few close calls, I thought. A couple of the Tantrum Spirals got extremely close. A couple of the Forgotten Beasts kind of scared me. When the werewolves poured down the entrance at the first, that really scared me. But so far it's lasted, and I'm going to ensure that it gets a proper dwarvy way to go out this time, I hope. This one's from Dion. What is your favorite hobby besides computer games and dog breeding? I think I answered this one earlier too, but mostly just reading. Not books or anything per se, but Wikipedia, reading news articles, reading other things like that, just reading on the internet. I love reading conspiracy theories, even if I don't believe them all. I think that they're really great ways to tell stories about things people possibly don't understand completely whenever they don't have the full picture. I think it's interesting to see how they twist those things around and what comes from them. That's another good way to get storytelling bits if you're interested in getting into storytelling of any type. Look into conspiracy theories. Find out how to debunk them. If you can find out which story mechanics they're using, it becomes increasingly easy. So let's see. That's my favorite hobby, reading. Various stuff. Watching videos on YouTube. Exploring the internet, seeing what crazy stuff I can find. It really is a wasteland. Let's see. Onyxja. Would you rather ride a unicorn or a Pegasus? Neither. I'd rather kill Quillmane, take his cloak, and have the powers of flight all to myself. Why ride a smelly beast when you can kill it and take its cloak for your own? Let's see. This is from Zeroj. Dear Plump, how do you type with boxing gloves on? Crapfully yours, 0J. Like I don't get asked this question several times a week. Deleted. Next question. Editberg. What's your favorite game which you haven't made a Let's Play of? I honestly don't know. I say this is another tough one. I don't really have favorite games, really. Favorite game I haven't made a Let's Play of. It's a tough one. I honestly don't know. I can't answer that one, Editberg. Sorry. Where are you from? Holy noob. Answered. I'm from the United States. The greatest country in the world, and don't you forget it. America, fuck yeah. Blah, 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 blah. That's where I'm from. Severix. I'll ask the same question I asked Variax. Which circle of hell do you think you'll end up in? I'm gonna end up where all the cool people go. That's the circle of hell I'm gonna end up in. It's gonna be a fun party. Probably some type of demented land party whenever I get there. But that's where I'm going. That's where I'll end up. It should be a fun experience. I'm sure I'll make the best of it. From Kez Sharon. Whose life force are you using to make these videos? I'm using yours. Every time you guys watch and waste 10 minutes of your time, for every person that wastes 10 minutes of their time, I get 1 second of free life. So keep watching. My meter is slowly going up. It's a giant pyramid scheme. I don't know who's sucking my life away. I'm sure it's somebody out there. I don't know if this life transfer goes both ways for us here. Let's see. How much peanut butter can you eat in one setting from Renegade? Probably about half a pound. Half of a 1 pound jar. It really depends what type of bread and jelly, what type of jam I've got to go if I'm making a sandwich. If I'm eating crackers, it's probably less, simply because crackers are so dry. I wouldn't really want to eat too much peanut butter that way. But I do like peanut butter. Any type of peanut butter will do. Crunchy peanut butter, creamy peanut butter. Um, really doesn't matter the brand of peanut butter it is, as long as it's not the school brand of peanut butter, that shitty, nasty peanut butter that schools used to serve whenever I went. I'm sure they still do. It's probably in the same cans, produced from the same factory from the same year as whenever I was eating it, sometime right after Vietnam. Completely disgusting. That's the only type of peanut butter I don't like. Reese's peanut butter cups, now that's probably the best type of peanut butter. I could eat 10 pounds of that in one setting. Let's see, this is from Flowers Preach. What's the significance, if any, of the name Sergei Telkordai? There's not really any significance. It doesn't come from anywhere. Any point in history or anything like that. For me, it comes from EverQuest. It was the name of my ranger whenever I created him. In EverQuest, you got a last name at level 20, which was quite significant because whenever I got EverQuest, getting level 20 was a feat in itself. You didn't level up quick at all in that game. I assume that you still don't level up quick, but you know how things go. They dumb MMOs down over time. They just make them easier as things go along. But yeah, my ranger's name was Sergei. It was the first character I ever got to level 20. And I have no idea what the last name means. It was supposed to be an in-joke to myself at the time, which is completely pointless because it's a joke that only I knew about. I didn't really have any real meaning behind my name except the die part, which somehow relates to me being a ranger and constantly dying. Ranger down was basically our motto, because rangers drew the aggro of the mobs extremely easy due to the high damage I think that we used to do, it seemed like. And we would always die. It was just the way things were. Good rangers probably died less. I didn't die that often, but I died enough that it was quite annoying. I had extremely bad luck on pools too. I would have mobs spawn on me constantly. It was bad. I died all the time. Ranger down indeed. But that's where Sergei Telkordai came from. EverQuest, the Torvona list server, and the Order of the Dark Sun was the guild led by Ali Karis, Soul Savior. A fine gentleman, if I do say so myself. And whenever that guild disbanded, I quit EverQuest, because I didn't feel like joining another guild on the server. When that thing disintegrated, I moved on from the game as well. And I've used that name ever since in various RPG settings, because I like how it flows. I like how it sounds. Gun fun. What is the meaning of life? Like I said, just have fun. Let other people have fun. Treat others how you want to be treated. Try to live as an example. If you want to be a douchebag, by all means, go be a douchebag. But don't be upset when other people treat you like a douchebag. That's the meaning of life, I think. Probably completely wrong. I'm sure everyone's got their own meaning of life. So let's see. When are you going to do a Let's Play Morrowind with all kinds of cool mods? From Sympathy. Absolutely never. I'll never do a Morrowind Let's Play on my channel. I'll never do... I don't want to say never, but I most likely will never do an Oblivion Let's Play either. If Bethesda gets their shit together, I might do a Skyrim one sometime way down the road, like a few years from now, but I'm definitely not going to release it anytime soon. If I did do it. Let's see. What made you want to start Fallout New Vegas with a bunch of mods, from Smells Like Pork? I play all of my Bethesda games heavily modded. In fact, if I buy a game, I normally don't buy games unless I know they can be heavily modded. I mean, I do buy games that aren't modded at all, like say Alpha Protocol, but I wait for them to go on sale. I prefer games that can be modded. It ensures that they have a long lifespan, ensures that they don't get stale after the first 1 or 2 times you play through them, or that you'll even want to play through them more than once. But that's why I started New Vegas with mods, because mods, in my opinion, make everything better. Some people are purists. They think you should play the game how the developers intended, and that's all fine and good. If you're like that, by all means, go for it. I, however, like to have more options, more depth, more things to do, more things to see. I want to see what the community thinks, what they add to the game. the path they would have taken the development of the software, if they could say, you know what, let's not focus group this game to shit. Let's actually add some challenge and depth. Let's add some flavor and variety to it. That's why I play with mods. That's why I support games that are heavily modded. Arma, X3TC, Dwarf Fortress. Games that are great, but made greater because of their mods, in my opinion. From Passacoy, with 30 plus minute videos, I think, oh wait, you don't really have a question. Passacoy's question was, does this count as my first question? Yes, it does. That is your first question, and it's been answered. From Crafty Coco, do you play on other systems other than computer? No, not anymore, I don't. I've went through several PlayStation 2s. They all burned out and weren't covered under warranty by Sony. They stopped reading discs. I had one PlayStation that wouldn't read DVDs, so I bought a new one. That one stopped reading CDs, so I could only play my DVD games. Then if I wanted to play any of my CD games, like Romance at Three Kingdoms 7 or 8, I would have to switch to my other PlayStation 2. Eventually they both stopped working. I want to say I had a third PlayStation that started to screw up, and then I just got out of that altogether. I had a couple 360s that red ringed until eventually Microsoft would no longer honor the warranty and replace them, because they would refurbish it, I guess, and send me someone else's piece of crap 360 instead of sending me a new one. So I'm done with consoles for the time being. I'm going to stick to computers where I can emulate past glory and past successes, play my favorite games from the past, and if something goes wrong I can fix the hardware myself. I can easily update it. It's a little bit more expensive, yeah, but it's worth it. It's more rewarding. I don't think I'll be going back to consoles anytime soon. So no, just computer for now. And from JCan, can we expect more unique roguelikes in your future LPs? Will you rehash on CUD or any of the others? Yeah, you can expect more roguelikes from me in the future, and yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. Really, I'm going to continue to play games and load them into the Mega Mix, and whenever I get better at those games and prepared to do a more in-depth playthrough, some of those games will be getting their own playlists, like, I think I mentioned, like, Ancient Domains of Mystery. That will be getting its own playlist at some point. Unreal World might get a small playlist at some point. I just don't know. There's a lot of roguelikes out there, and I'm by no means an expert on all of them. I haven't been playing roguelikes for that long compared to some people. So there's still a whole bunch more that I need to find and discover and hone my skills at. Let's see, from TestTube, what's your favorite roguelike? I think I answered that earlier, but I don't really have one. I don't have a favorite roguelike per se. I have a couple favorite games, but it depends on the mood. If I want something more beefy, I'll play Dwarf Fortress. If I want something more explory, I'll do Caves of Cud. If I want something that's going to torture me and hound me until I'm ready to quit, I'll play Ivan. Just depends what mood I'm in. I'm from ABZ. How much do you love us? That includes Jeff and Grimgrams. Enough that I haven't completely abandoned this identity and told you guys to sod off. That's how much. That should speak volumes. But there you go. Hopefully that answers your question. From DBZ Manomega. Are you going to watch Tales from the Mojave and then redo the game, or just go on memory? I just went on memory. I've rewatched to the beginning to make sure I made my base stats match up. But other than that, it's all from memory. It's fairly easy. Paige's playthrough is, the way I play her character, it's pretty much how I would play all of my characters normally. So it wasn't hard to match the same quest lines and do the same steps that I normally would have done with her, because it's what I normally would have done anyways. If this was an evil character or something like that, it would be a little bit harder for me to follow in the same footsteps, but thankfully it wasn't. Let's see, Ling Lang, where did you hone your remarkable ability to tell stories? Well, Again, I don't think it's that remarkable, but probably the best place you can hone storytelling capabilities is in, um, besides getting a job studying and learning stories or going to college for it, if that would even help, do customer service for a big corporation. They want you to tell stories to customers. They want you to be a liar. They want you to spin stuff. They want you to make their shitty products seem like it's worth selling and hawking off to people. That's how I became a decent storyteller, I think, trying to keep my job. It's also one of the reasons I hate big business and corporations from time to time. If I might seem a little bit bitter, it's because I really dislike the tactics that they use. They use propaganda, PR, to manipulate and sell products. Go work for one of them. It's fun. Good money. It's a good learning experience. You can learn to tell a story. Maybe you can rise all the way to the top with your storytelling capabilities. From Warwolf. Are you done with Space Station 13? Nope. Not by any means. I'll probably play it until I get banned. If I get banned. I'm hoping I don't. I try not to be shit, but sometimes it happens. The only time I have been banned from the servers was whenever I blew up a bomb. The first time I was making them. I didn't know that bombs on Space Station 13, if you armed them, that they would slowly cook you alive with the temperature. So I armed a bomb, and it cooked me, and then the bomb blew up half the escape arm, and I got banned for 3 days because of that. So I've learned my lesson. I'm no longer shit with bombs. I don't play with them unless I'm a revolution or a traitor. So hopefully I don't get banned. Hopefully I can keep playing it for a very long time. I'm not done with it by any means. And from Prayed. Do you have any future plans for large Let's Plays? If so, are any in the works? I don't really have plans for any large Let's Plays. I mean, I don't know what large would be. What large would be considered. I mean, I do have some very complex games on the way. I think X3TC, if I ever get back into it, is going to be one of the largest Let's Plays that I'll do, simply because of the stuff that we're going to try to accomplish. I would like to build up a huge fleet, start taking over the solar, or not the solar system, but I guess the galaxy at some point in that game. There is a lot we could do, a lot I want to do. It could take a lot of time to actually do it. The only problem is, you know, making the game work. That's probably my biggest plans for Let's Plays. And Donald Keys, you're getting screwed over by that security officer there, Gusta Poe. He flushed him down the chute and then shot him with a taser gun, and I think he's beating him with his stun rod there. Probably gonna give him too, clown. No telling what you were doing. Let's see, what's the next question? If you go back and listen to one of your first videos, do you notice how much your accent has changed? Yes, I do. I actually really dislike my first videos because of the way that my microphone picked up my voice and the accent that came through. Unfortunately, I didn't have a choice but to force that accent at the time. The microphone that I was using picked up every little pop and squeak that my voice did, every breath that I took. So I ended up actually changing how I talked in order to record at a sound level that didn't make me want to punch myself in the face. Because if I talked any other way, it picked up every little flick of my tongue, every little piece of saliva that popped in my mouth, and it was extremely annoying. So yes, I definitely noticed a change now. My microphone I've got now still doesn't make me completely happy. It picks up my mouse way too loud. It picks up my keyboard way too loud. I still think it picks up my breathing and my I don't know, my mouth problems, I guess, the popping and clicking and slurping way too easily. So yeah, that's what I notice. That's what bothers me about my first videos and about some of my current videos too. Hopefully it'll get better with time, but you never know. Let's see, from Boo Guthrie. Besides yourself, who is your favorite Let's Player and why? Anyone I'm subscribed to is really my favorite Let's Player, because I don't have favorites of anything. I have moods. Sometimes I'm in the mood for Jeff to make me laugh. Sometimes I'm in the mood for Grim Rage. Sometimes I want to hear Grimmeth's insanely infectious laughter. He's got a laugh that I don't think anyone can match. Sometimes I want to hear Variax go on. Unfortunately, a lot of the other Let's Players that I've subscribed to over time have quit. Kelderon, he doesn't seem to update anymore. Juju Dog, he uploaded a few more videos and then seemed to quit after having audio troubles, I think. Chili Tomato Noodle, he no longer uploads. And he did a couple really good series, like Aerobiz, that I extremely liked. He did Shadowrun. In fact, his Shadowrun was one of the series that's really got me into Let's Playing, because I was watching his Shadowrun right after I got done, along the same time I was watching Jeff's Dwarf Fortress videos. And that's what really influenced me and pushed me to get into Let's Playing. Both of those guys, Chili Tomato Noodle and Jeff. Chili Tomato Noodle Shadowrun Let's Play specifically. That was just an extremely well done Let's Play. It's a shame that he no longer uploads, but I'm sure real life took a hold of him. I believe he lives in Japan. I don't know if the earthquake affected him at all. Hopefully he's okay too. But yeah, anyone I'm subscribed to at the time is probably my favorite. And anyone I was subscribed to at some point is probably my favorite for one reason or another. Everyone offers something different. Don't be the type of person who has, a favorite. You should have lots of favorites. At least that's my opinion of things. Let's see, next question. Mo Fleeker, what is your opinion on mainstream gaming in today's world? I don't know. Mainstream gaming is what it's always been, I think. The companies that have the most money to throw around generally come out on top. You don't even got to spend a bunch of money designing and producing your games these days. Just throw enough money at advertising, and people will buy your game, because people don't know better. Well, I mean, they know better, and they'll learn. But, I don't know. Mainstream gaming is what it is. I'd say half of mainstream gaming is advertising and marketing. Yeah, there's always been mainstream gaming. There's always been games that were considered mainstream. I mean, I don't know. Even mainstream gaming, what does that mean? Is that just the AAA games that are released? Is that just the games that get a bunch of hype? I assume it is. I'll say that most games that get a 9.0 or a 9.5 these days don't deserve it. The first game in their series that was released might deserve such high praises, like, the first, I don't even want to get into mainstream gaming, okay? I would just wish they'd be more innovative before saying, let's charge these people $60 for just a few new features, even though we haven't actually changed anything. It feels like a lot of rip-off to me, just trying to turn around and make money as quickly as possible. Spend a little bit more time innovating, please. Take a few more risks, please. Mainstream gaming. Then I'll be surprised. I'll be impressed. Let's see. Congratulations, Plump. Who are you gonna call? I think I'm gonna call into work sick today. That sounds like a good plan to me. Here's a question from Variax. Are you going to LP Skyrim? Nope. I'm going to leave that for Variax. I'm going to leave that for you, Big V. Skyrim is all yours. Like I said, I may do it at some point way down the road, but it depends. I'm not sure what direction Bethesda has taken the series yet. I'm not going to listen to the pre-launch hype. I'm not going to listen to the websites that want the advertising bucks slobbering all over Bethesda knobs, trying to get a huge advertising campaign financed to their website so their writers can continue to not have actual jobs and not have to actually work. Yeah, I think I'll wait on Skyrim, see what happens down the road. I will probably buy the next Fallout from them, no questions asked, though. Just depends how they take that as well, though. We'll see. Next question. Do you play the original Fallout games from Raggarn? Yep. Fallout 1 was actually the first game that I bought with my computer in '98. I got Fallout 1, and then the game after that I got was Ultima Online, and then the game after that was Fallout 2. So those were probably my first 3 games that I actually bought myself for my first personal computer, and yeah, I had a lot of fun with them. Fallout 1, the first time I played it, took me forever to actually save the vault and find the water chip, because you had a time limit. I didn't know that the first time I played, so I just set out across the desert, having fun, going exploring, leveling up, and then all of a sudden, boom, the village dies. Or not the village, but the vault dies. Extremely awful. All of my saves were pretty much useless because I only kept 2 or 3 saves. And so every time I would load a save up, I never had enough time to find out where the chip was and take it back to the vault. So Fallout 1, in my opinion, was kind of like a roguelike game, and that if you didn't know what you were doing, it was possible to completely fuck everything up and lose. There was no coming back and winning from that one. It was kind of a bummer. Let's see. What's the next question on the list here? What's your name on the Bay 12 forums? From Brad Drake. A dwarven smokologist. That's my name on there. I don't post much on there anymore. I do have another ID on there that I'm thinking about using. Why? I don't know. I like having multiple IDs, and as soon as I use one for a while, I tend to switch off of it and use something else whenever I feel I've matured and advanced past what that identity has to offer. I simply morph like a beautiful butterfly into something else. That's just how it goes. So let's see. This is from Brick. Will you do an LP of ADOM? Caves of Cut are cool but unbalanced. Out of depth, monster generation is somewhat more enjoyable, reasonable in ADOM. Yeah, like I said, I've mentioned it again. A couple other people have already asked this question. I'll be doing an LP of ADOM at some point. Probably not for the foreseeable future, though. I'm going to spend a lot more time with Caves of Cud because it's still being actively developed. I'd like to see it supported. I'd like to see the developers supported a little bit more. So that's what I'm going to be focusing my attention on. It's great to focus and support older games, to cherish their memory, but at the same time there's new young ones out there that I don't want to see die young early deaths because they don't get the support and love they need. So new games are what I'll support for the time being. Games that are continuously being updated, where the devs are still active. I don't know how active the ADOM developer is, and it's a single man project, not open source, no mods. It's all up to his whimsy. So yeah. Let's see. Next question is from Merklom. If you could ask one question to any person, public person or not, of your choice, what would it be? That's a really good question. Probably the first one that's going to stump me, because I honestly have no idea. I mean, that's a question I would actually have to sit down and think. It would probably be a question to somebody like Neil deGrasse Tyson, or Carl Sagan if he was still alive, or, you know, maybe one to Michael Hawkins. God, probably, don't tell me I'm getting his name wrong. Michael Hawkins, surely I think that's his name. Michael Hawking. I'm sure my question would be, you know, elementary for him to answer, because I can't think of anything too advanced. But it would be somebody like that. I don't really have any use for asking sports stars questions, or TV stars, or movie stars questions. I might have a few questions for Stephen King, simply because I really like his writing style. I like the things he did with his stories at the time that they came out. Yeah, I don't know what the question would be, so I can't really answer your question either. I would need more time to think about it. Let's see. From NT Spang. Do you like guacamole? Can't say I do. In fact, I can't even really say I've ever ate guacamole. I come from the Midwest. As far as I know, most people who've had real guacamole, as they call it, wouldn't consider our stuff real guacamole. So, from what I've had, I don't much care for it. I'd rather have hot sauce, like Mama Cholula's hot sauce, or what is that hot sauce that I really like? It's got a rooster on the bottle. I can't even think of it. It's sriracha. I love that hot sauce. I'd rather have that stuff than guacamole. Give me some real sauce. Not the guacamole that I've had. It doesn't seem that good. Let's see. Piran Fisk. Will you play the Elder Scrolls Oblivion? Nope. I think I've already answered that too several times now. I don't think I'll play Oblivion. Variax is doing a very good Let's Play of it right now. Ali Yanira, I haven't seen her update for quite some time now, but she was getting back into updating her Oblivion playlist. Even though she's not using mods, it was fun to watch. I just don't think there's anything I could do to add to it. I would just be a sneaky archer-styled character that has magic and swords. I'd be probably a fairly unbalanced character. It wouldn't be that fun. I don't know what I could do story-wise in the world except be a Conan-type character and running around slaying everything. I mean, Fallout has some choices you can make that will screw things up and maybe change the world a little bit. Oblivion never really seemed to have that for me. The quests and actions you could take were all pretty straightforward in my opinion. Every Let's Play of that game, even though it's sandboxy, every playthrough of it still kind of comes through the same, in my opinion. Let's see, next question is, would you consider counting or restarting X3 Terran Conflict from Elegant General? Yep. I'll be going back to X3 Terran Conflict at some point, just don't know when. I'll be using mods for it, even though I won't be throwing a whole bunch of mods together myself. I think I might be using the, I think it's the X Universe mod 2.0 whenever it comes out. I'll probably be using a cockpit, well, I know I'll be using a cockpit mod. I have to have a cockpit. I don't like just flying around with that 2D HUD splashed on the screen. I want an actual 3D cockpit with all the bells and whistles that I can look at right there. I want to feel like I'm actually in the ship piloting it. I would love to have capital ships that have bridges and crew, and you've got to hire crew and train them and send your fleet out on patrol. I would love to have an in-depth game like that, but I don't think that's even possible with mods in X3 Terran Conflict. Maybe the next X3 game, the next big thing, I think they're calling it, I don't know what the official name is, but maybe that game. I might not even LP another X3 game until the next big thing comes out, simply to see what they offer. I'm sure it'll be a buggy, complete disaster when it's released, but I don't know. I'll be going back to it at some point. It's a beautiful universe. It's a very fun game. There's still a lot that I can do with it, I think. A lot I want to do with it. A lot that still needs to be shown off of the game. It needs more exposure, in my opinion, and hopefully I don't bungle it up as badly as I did before. I'm from Shadow Dimitro. Why do you try to balance so many different LPs at one time? Why don't you just focus on them one at a time, and just go down the list of ones you want to do? Or is it because sometimes you get sick of the game you're playing and want to play something else for a while? Well, you answered your own question. It's because I do get sick of playing games after a while. If I was just playing them for myself, I would like Alpha Protocol, for example. If I was playing that by myself, I probably would have beat it in 1 or 2 days, because I would have sat down and I would have just hammered it out and enjoyed it. Unfortunately, since I've got to talk and think about stuff to say and record it and encode it and make sure that I'm not being a big derp and being a big dummy whenever I talk, unfortunately I do get burned out a little bit on it. So I only do little bits here and there. I'll record for an hour and then I'll take a few days break. I'll record for an hour and then I'll take another break. It's like that with all games. With Dwarf Fortress, the Fort Shove Copper would probably already be well finished. I would have finished it a long time ago, but because I'm recording, you know, I play for an hour here or there, go through a siege or two, get everything set up, and then I'm exhausted again and I gotta take another break. That's why I record so many different LPs. Otherwise, I would upload a couple videos and then I would be done uploading for a week or two. And you guys would be bored, you guys would get tired of waiting around for things to pick up and go on. So, in order to keep things interesting for me, to keep things flowing on the channel, I do pick up a decent number of games, probably ignore a few of them from time to time, but it's really the only way that I can continue a steady stream of videos flowing in, and how I can stay interested in Let's Playing. I mean, it helps me stay motivated, to have plenty of games I can bounce around and choose from. That's why I do it. Let's see, which LP do you consider the most difficult that you've done from Fireweaver? X3 is the most difficult I've done because of the number of buttons and commands and menus that you have to learn, not to mention all the mods that I screwed up with it. The other hardest game is the one that you got seeing in the background right now, is Space Station 13. Mostly because whenever I record, I'm trying not to be a complete shit player. I don't think I'm normally a shit player, but whenever I'm recording for you guys, I'm trying extra hard not to be a shit player, because I don't want bad habits to be taught to you guys on my part. Plus, it's also kind of hard to ad-lib and I guess to keep my cool through some of the stuff that goes on in the screen. Like when there's the giant goat seat thrown in my face. How am I supposed to segue through that? Obviously I'll block it out for you guys, but whenever there's loud, high-pitched noises being played in my ear, it's a really good test. Space Station 13 is a great test of how calm you can remain in the face of danger, in the face of bodily harm. I'll be back for the last batch of questions. There's only a few more whenever the next round starts. But yeah, it's been fun so far. We're almost done here. Only a few more questions left. Okay, well, we're back for the final batch of questions. There's not too many left, only like 3, I think. And we've got Osama bin Laden the Clown, currently on radar right here. He'll probably be dead before too much longer. Let's see if he can die before we finish going through these last questions. I think the last question I answered was, which LP do you consider the most difficult? Pretty sure I answered that. And the next... Well, congratulations, Bin Laden. You just fucking ran headfirst into the Gibber. Let me choose someone else to observe. What's Beepski doing? We'll watch Beepski. Maybe he'll go dispense some justice to somebody. So let's see. Do you know of a video editor that is free for Windows XP? From Fisherboy. I believe that Windows Movie Maker is available for Vista, an older version of, or for XP. I believe an older version is. Other than that, no, I don't know. XP is obsolete as far as I'm concerned. It's time to move on. Even if you can't, I understand if you can't, but I don't know any free ones out there. You might want to Google it and see if you can find any on CNET or any other reputable websites. Be careful where you go. You never know if you're going to be downloading malware or not. Next question is from Cappy Anon. What is your favorite dwarven meal? Probably plump helmet stew, or plump helmet pizza, maybe plump helmet biscuits and gravy, or plump helmet steak. I'm always down for some plump helmet with some fluffy Wambler. Pretty much anything with plump helmet is good to me. Plump helmet with a side of fried elf. I'll take a plate of that. And the last question is up to his neck. Where are you from? Sometimes I think you're a southerner, and sometimes I think you're a northern European, and sometimes I have no idea. I just long to dissect your English. Like I said, I'm from the Midwest, but I've traveled all around. Spent the majority of my time on the phones. Well, ever since high school, I've spent the majority of my free time, my waking time, on the phones, at my jobs, talking to various people around the world. I mean, I've done lots of stuff for jobs, from computer tech support to being an air bill shipment clearer, being a classifications and release analyst for FedEx. I've had plenty of experience talking to people with different dialects, different accents all over the world. And I just kind of stopped arguing with people. I stopped worrying about if what I said was right. I stopped worrying about what if they said was right. I just let all my, I guess, grammatical inhibitions fly away and absorbed everything from everyone all over the world. And that's where I've got it from. For better or for worse. Well, I think that's all of the questions. I don't think I skipped too many, actually. I said I was going to skip more than I did. I only skipped ones that were way too personal, that I didn't feel like answering. So hopefully you know me a little bit better. Hopefully I answered everything you wanted to know. If you didn't hear what you wanted to hear, then I don't know what to tell you. You should have asked a better question, or you should have asked a question. That would have been even more helpful. I may do a question and answer session again at some point in the future, but I don't know when. It would have to be something special, a special reason for me to do it. Other than that, you know, I just want to say thanks again to everyone who bothered to ask a question. Thanks again to everyone who comments on the videos, to everyone who subscribes and watches. I do this for me. I do this for you, and if you stick around, hopefully you get more entertainment on the way. Hopefully I get more entertainment from your comments and from you crying in the comments about what I'm doing or not doing. I enjoy that just as much as the compliments I get. In fact, the more some of you whine, the more powerful I become. It gives me strength. just to know that what I'm doing pisses you off so much that you've got to bitch at me in the comments about it. That's why I do it. That's why I love this job. I'll be seeing you guys in my other playlists then. Some of you I'll be seeing on the station. Some of you will be killing in Dwarf Fortress. And some of you, well, just fucking some of you.